Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover chilling true stories that linger in your mind long after the screen fades. Tonight, we're diving into 3 unsettling Snapchat horror stories, moments where a simple app became a gateway to terror. From a sleepover gone wrong to a deadly date and a camping trip turned nightmare, these tales are rooted in real experiences shared by those who live them. But here's the twist: each story, though terrifying, led to unexpected blessings that changed lives for the better. Buckle up, and let's dive into the darkness to find the light. It was supposed to be a laid-back sleepover at Nora's house, just me, Paige, and a cozy attic room stuffed with pillows, fairy lights, and the warm glow of scented candles. Nora's parents were away for the weekend, leaving us free to gorge on popcorn, scroll TikTok, and cackle at absurd memes. Typical Friday night vibes for 3 high school friends. But around midnight, the power cut out, plunging us into darkness. Nora lit a few candles, their flickering flames casting eerie shadows on the walls. The attic, once warm and inviting, suddenly felt like a scene from a horror movie. We sat there, staring at the dancing candlelight, when Nora broke the silence. "Let's do something creepy." Paige raised an eyebrow. "Like what? A seance?" We didn't have a Ouija board, and none of us knew how to conduct a proper seance, but my big mouth had an idea. What if we used Snapchat to summon Morwena? The room went still. Morwena was a senior at our school who died just a month ago in a horrific car crash. She'd been driving at 93 miles per hour, using Snapchat's speed filter to show off, when she slammed into a divider. The impact killed her instantly, her head twisted unnaturally. The worst part? Her phone kept broadcasting for hours. Some claimed they saw her reflection in the car window afterward, like her spirit lingered, watching. "Not funny," Paige muttered, but Nora was already intrigued, her phone in hand. Boredom and curiosity, a dangerous mix, pushed us forward. We formed a circle, the only light coming from 2 candles and our phone screens. We opened Snapchat, pointing our cameras at the attic's darkest corners where shadows stretched like fingers across the walls. In unison, we whispered, "Morwena, are you here?" For a few minutes, nothing happened. Just us, whispering into the void. Then Paige gasped. "Guys, my filter's acting up." We crowded around her phone. The dog filter flickered over empty space behind her, then vanished. It reappeared, but the ears were unnaturally long, the tongue a sickly gray. Nora's screen was worse. A thin, pale face lingered behind Paige, barely visible but unmistakable. Nora spun around. "Nothing's there," she said, voice trembling. I aimed my camera at the cracked mirror by Nora's bed. In the reflection, I swear I saw something move, a shadow that wasn't mine. A deafening crack split the air as the attic window burst open, a gust of wind snuffing out one candle. My phone snapped a photo on its own. Heart pounding, I opened it. In the mirror's reflection was a face, eyes too large, inhuman, staring down at us. I dropped my phone, screaming, "I'm done. Turn it off." But before we could stop, Nora started murmuring, her voice deep and guttural, like it came from somewhere else. She rocked back and forth, eyes rolled back, showing only whites. Paige grabbed her shoulders, shouting, "Nora! Nora, stop!" But Nora's lips moved faster, words mismatched, her body trembling violently. I blew out the remaining candle. Paige turned on her phone's flashlight, hoping to snap Nora out of it. It didn't work. Nora collapsed, her body contorting at impossible angles, bones cracking, yet she didn't scream. A chilling smile spread across her face, but it wasn't hers. It was like something else wore her skin. Her head hit the floor with a sickening thump, lifeless as a broken puppet. We called her mom and the police, sobbing as paramedics rushed Nora to the hospital. Miraculously, she survived, waking the next day pale but unharmed, with no memory of the night. Doctors found no fractures, no scratches, nothing. She mentioned feeling watched but brushed it off. We swore never to speak of it again, knowing no one at school would believe us. 3 days later, Nora was found dead in her bedroom, her face frozen in a scream of dread. No struggle, no foul play, just her, cold and rigid, with her phone open to Snapchat. The final photo showed a ceiling with a faint, distorted face in the static, the same one we saw that night. I thought it was over, but 2 nights ago, at 3:14 a.m., my phone buzzed with a Snapchat notification from Paige. No message, just a photo of a dark bedroom corner, and something standing there, watching. I deleted the app, hurling my phone across the room, but the glitches persist. Filters flicker in empty air, whispers haunt my sleep. I haven't uninstalled Snapchat completely, terrified that she wants it to stay. Did we summon Morwena's spirit, or something worse? Did we disturb her rest, or is she pulling us to join her? And yet, this nightmare became a strange blessing. The loss of Nora shook me to my core, but it forced me to confront life's fragility. I started volunteering at a local crisis center, helping teens navigate grief and reckless choices. I've grown closer to my family, cherishing every moment. That terrifying night taught me to live with purpose, to honor Nora's memory by helping others avoid our mistakes. The sound of the front door closing behind Annabelle that night is etched in my memory, a soft click with a snap of finality. "Don't wait up, Paul," she called in her sing-song voice. "Text me if he's cute," I shouted back, grinning. That was the last time I heard her voice. Annabelle had been secretive about this guy, Chris, a photographer she'd met on Snapchat. For weeks, she'd gushed about him, showing me only filtered snaps or cropped photos, never his full face. She was smitten, glowing with excitement, so I figured it was just a harmless crush she'd outgrow. I was wrong. That night, I was sprawled on my bed, watching YouTube videos as rain tapped the windows. Annabelle was out on her first date with Chris. At 11:17 p.m., my phone buzzed with a text from her, "He's acting weird." I replied instantly, "What do you mean?" No response. A minute later, "If I don't text back in 10, call me." My stomach nodded. Then, "I feel like he's hiding something." I called immediately. 2 rings, then voicemail. Again and again, no answer. Panic clawed at me. Annabelle didn't say things like that lightly. I rushed to her room, hoping for a clue, a note, anything. Her door was ajar, string lights glowing. Her iPad sat on the desk, screen still active, Snapchat open. I hesitated, then grabbed it, hands shaking. Tapping into her chat with Chris, I scrolled through weeks of flirty messages and silly selfies. At first, it seemed sweet, compliments on her art, black and white studio photos. But deeper down, it turned sinister. Chris never showed his full face, his snaps used filters, shadows, or blurry angles. Tonight's messages were chilling, were something read for me. "Don't bring anyone. It's just us." Annabelle's reply, "Sure, whatever you say." I felt sick. His snap map location was fake, snaps tagged Denver, Boulder, Aspen, minutes apart. Impossible. A saved video call from 3 nights ago showed Annabelle laughing, asking about his shoots. Chris stayed in shadows, nodding with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. The screen glitched, revealing an older man, 30s, maybe older, not the 20-something she thought. Then, an unopened message from that night, "If you scream, no one will hear you." I dialed 911, voice trembling as I explained. The next morning, police found Annabelle's body in the basement of an abandoned house an hour away, strangled. Her phone was wiped clean, no fingerprints, no messages. But her iPad was the key. Investigators recovered cloud data, unsent messages, broken video calls, a final snap taken during a failed call. A week later, they arrested Mason Duval, a 32-year-old drifter who used fake locations and usernames to lure girls. Annabelle wasn't his first victim, but she was the last. Her room remains untouched, art on the walls, bed made. Yet, sometimes, I hear a Snapchat ping from her iPad at night. Once, I opened it to a message, still with Chris. "Don't worry." It came from an unknown account, no Bitmoji, no name. I deleted the app, but her deactivated profile still lingers in my quick add list, smiling in a filter, frozen in time. I wonder how many others are chatting with strangers, unaware of the danger waiting if they meet. But this tragedy carried a hidden blessing. Losing Annabelle pushed me to advocate for online safety, speaking at schools about the risks of meeting strangers from apps. I found purpose in protecting others, turning my grief into action. Her memory drives me to ensure no one else falls prey to a predator like Mason. That pain became my strength. Jake and I, both in our mid-20s, were desperate for a break from our phone-addicted lives. So, we planned a camping trip deep in the woods, a 6-mile hike to a secluded spot where we'd have no cell service, no noise, just nature. We arrived at noon, set up our tent, built a fire pit, and soaked in the perfect weather, cool enough for hoodies at night. It felt like freedom. Despite our no screens pact, I couldn't resist. The fireflies, the towering trees, Jake goofing with tent poles, it was too perfect not to capture. I posted a dozen Snapchat photos, my boots, the leaves, a silly selfie of us with marshmallow-covered smiles. That night, we roasted hot dogs, sipped cheap wine from metal cups, and swapped stories under a starlit sky. I remember thinking, this is happiness. Exhausted from the drive and setup, Jake fell asleep quickly in the tent, but I'm a light sleeper, especially in new places. Restless, I grabbed my phone and scrolled through my Snapchat stories, reliving the day. Then I froze. In every photo, barely noticeable at first, was a man in the background, pale, expressionless, with wide, vacant eyes and a hollow jaw. In one snap, he was far off among the trees. In the next, closer, maybe 50 feet away, staring directly at the camera. "Jake," I whispered, shaking him awake. He groaned, half asleep, but his face fell when I showed him the snaps. We bolted out, flashlights sweeping the woods, nothing but dark trees and our own panic breathing. "Maybe a hiker messing with us," Jake said, unconvinced. We sat by the fire, uneasy, before returning to the tent, my phone and flashlight within reach. At 3 a.m., a rustling sound jerked us awake, brush moving nearby. We unzipped the tent, stepping out cautiously. Jake's flashlight hit a tree, and I screamed. A gutted rabbit hung from a branch, insides dangling in the breeze, freshly killed. Before we could process it, a thud and sizzling sound hit us, followed by the stench of burning flesh. A gutted fox, still smoking, was hurled at me, hitting my chest. Blood and fur coated me, I vomited, gagging on the taste. Footsteps fled into the woods. "That's it, we're leaving," Jake said, grabbing a knife and flashlight. But he paused. "Hiking 6 miles in the dark with one flashlight isn't safe." We agreed to wait for dawn. Jake kept watch while I lay in the tent, eyes fixed on the ceiling. I drifted off but woke to slow footsteps circling the tent. "Jake?" No answer. The steps neared the mesh window. Trembling, I opened Snapchat out of instinct. Darkness filled the screen, then the dog filter appeared, floating outside, tongue flicking, ears wiggling. Someone was standing there, watching. I screamed, throat raw. Jake burst in, wild-eyed. "What?" I shoved the phone at him, but the filter was gone. We didn't wait for dawn. We ran, abandoning everything, tent, gear, my shoes. By sunrise, we hitched a ride with a trucker who didn't ask questions, probably because we looked deranged. We never reported it, too little evidence. The incident was buried, but I still see that man in my grainy Snapchat stories. Yet, that terror was a blessing in disguise. It shattered my reliance on technology, pushing Jake and me to prioritize real-world connections. We now lead local hiking groups, teaching safety and awareness, turning our fear into a mission to protect others. Those woods, and that stalker, gave us a purpose we never expected. These stories show how terror can spark transformation. Snapchat, meant for fun, became a window to danger, but also to growth, purpose, and resilience. If you've faced something similar, share your story below. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more true tales. Sometimes, the scariest moments lead to the greatest blessings.